Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm your host, Jared Sebesta of Taatjes Financial Group, where we build purposeful retirement plans. At Taatjes Financial Group, we believe retirement planning is so much more than just preparing financially. Our goal is to help retirees and pre-retirees steward their time, talent, and treasure. We have the tools and proven process to make sure your retirement plan delivers the greatest purpose, impact, and legacy. If you need help building a purposeful retirement plan specific for your life and your retirement, please give us a call. Our number is 222-4236. You can request a meeting online at taatjesfinancial.com. And if you live in West Central Minnesota and you're in the neighborhood, just stop by our office. We are located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer, building purposeful retirement plans. Well, thank you so much for joining us again today. We sure do appreciate that. Before we get started with today's show, just another reminder, one of our most popular seminars to date, Understanding Social Security with Tim Mattern, is making a return on Thursday, November 16th to the Oaks in Wilmer. Social Security is the primary source of income for 69% of retirees. Choosing when to take it is a very important decision that you have to walk through, being very educated, understanding all the nuances of the benefit. Tim Mattern is going to walk you through all the complexities of Social Security and help you make an informed decision on when and how to take Social Security. Again, this is a free event. It's coming up on Thursday, November 16th at the Oaks in Wilmer. It goes from 5 to 7. It is free, but you have to register. Space is limited, and the way that you register is by going to our website, taatjesfinancial.com. Again, space is limited. Get signed up today. Ben Taatjes joins me on the show today, and interesting time of year, November 1st today. Lots happening. Certainly feels like fall, heading into the end of the year. Where do you want to start with today's show?
Well, start with the fact we got to the office this morning and our furnace wasn't working. So that was a chilly start to our day. And you kind of notice that we definitely have turned the corner here towards winter. So it's gotten colder. And I think, I happen to like this time of year. I know I'm out of the minority there. Most people don't. But I am kind of I try to look at the positives of almost everything. And I think that's with this show today, kind of how we're looking at things too. I think, a lot of people look at certainly the last few years, and they're like, oh man, interest rates have went, way up. Right. And what that's done, Jared, is caused kind of a problem within the fixed income world. So we've seen certainly rates going up, causing significant pressure on fixed income investments, old stuff, right? So if you had something that was a fixed investment and it was paying you a certain kind of income, that particular security is not as valuable now because the new stuff is paying a higher rate. Now, you might say, like we would with this time of year, the weather's changing and we're not as happy about the colder weather. Let's look at the positives. The mosquitoes are all dying, right? So there's positives there. And I think with the fixed income world, the same thing. The positive is huge in that now we have this environment where if you go to your bank, if you go to your investment professional, they likely have much higher paying interest-bearing things for you to put your money into. So I think it's worth looking at that. And I think so many times in the last, Jared, I've been doing this for over 20 years now. And to be able to show people where now you can actually get keeping your money relatively safe and still get a very attractive interest rate. It's so different when we model out plans and we're looking into this phase of people that are coming in this next phase of life. These retirees retiring today. The potential for higher income is so much higher because of what the interest rates have done.
I would assume that you're not saying like what you need to do right now is get out of your car or do whatever and march to the bank or your professional and start cashing out stuff. I'm sure that's not what you're saying. How do people go about this? At what point do you start kind of analyzing is it the right move to maybe shift money into an account that is paying more because the environment is so different?
Well, I just think it's something we have to understand, Jared, is that the money that you have has to be working for you, right? So if you have money that is sitting in the bank and doing nothing, potentially if it's just in a savings account or maybe it's in a no interest paying checking account, you have to be cognizant of the fact that there are alternatives now. In this world of safer fixed investments, there are things that are paying much more, and we have to be keeping up with inflation. We've got to be keeping up with, everything's costing more, right? So part of that is making sure your money is not just sitting idle. You've got to be doing something with it so you're generating, a positive rate of return. And whatever that looks like, I think everybody has to have a full financial plan where they look at, okay, each asset has its goal. So you've got retirement money over here in this bucket. You've got medium-term money over here in this bucket. You've got, hey, money I know I'm going to need before the end of the year over here. Everything has its specific goal. You look at those goals and you tie in, the best, tax planning that you can to make sure you're doing the best with that side of it as we're coming closer to the end of the year. And you need a professional to do that. You sit down and you review the whole picture.
I love talking about how, the psychology with money and how we feel. When I get a chance to get out in the community and rub shoulders with pre-retirees, they want to make sure that they're not losing money closer to, the end game, closer to, retirement. This is now a really good environment in a lot of ways for them.
Yeah, the positive of what we've seen with interest rates coming up is that if you are nearing retirement or you're in retirement and you are relying now on that wealth, right? So you've built up this nest egg, that's really your wealth. Until you flip the switch to turning into income, that's kind of this retirement phase. Now I'm going to use that money. Right now, I always believe, wealth is the kind of unusable side of the money. The income is what you use, right? That's what allows you to spend, to give, to experience things. So when we see fixed income investments going up, as far as the rate that you can get on those fixed products or fixed investments, that actually gives me more opportunities as a planner to say, well, now that wealth just goes further because the income that you're getting is in some cases double, triple what it was just a year ago. So there is positive there, Jared. It's not all negative. You hear about the news and the markets and everything else, but I think people do need to look at really the positives of what's going on here as well.
We've got about a minute left. Talk about that first initial meeting. If somebody was considering to come in who's not a current client, wanted a portfolio review, again, you're probably not coming out of the gate talking about one specific thing. It's an overall plan. It's an overall mindset on what they want that money to do. What would be some of the things that you would talk about in that first meeting?
Well, Jared, I think the first thing we do, is always get to the person's goals. If we can tie their life to their money, that's really most important, or rather their money to their life. So you figure out, what do you want your life to look like? What are the key components of that, as far as how much money do you want to pass to your kids? How much of your nest egg do you want to spend? Right? How do you look at risk? We have a ton of questions, and a lot of them get pretty deep, but our goal is to figure out as much as we can about them as a person. Then we turn and make sure that their money aligns with them as a person. So it's coming up with a tax efficient way to withdraw money from their accounts over time. It's coming up with the best way to get money to their heirs, right? In the best way that it doesn't mess up their heirs either. It makes sure that they get money at the right time, that's right for their situation. So all of that goes into that first meeting where we're just trying to really get to know them. A lot of people think they're going to get sold a product, and it's not that way. We first listen, and then we come up with the solution, the different way that their money yet can accomplish their life goals.
Absolutely. Sounds good, Ben. Well, if you'd like to take us up on this offer to do a no-cost, no-obligation portfolio review meeting, now is the time to do so. You can do this a number of ways. First, give us a call at 320-222-4236. You can request a meeting online at taatjesfinancial.com. And like I said, if you're in West Central Minnesota and in the neighborhood, just stop by our office. We are located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer, building purposeful retirement plans. I'm Jared Sebesta, joining you on this episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Securities offered through Avantax Investment Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisory Services. Insurance services offered through an Avantax affiliated insurance agency.